Hey guys, you're watching or listening to the Shift Training Podcast,
where we talk about personal development, we talk about physical, mental, emotional, spiritual health, and just overall well-being.
And today we're going to be talking about leadership basics. This is for the leaders out there or the people who are aspiring to step into leadership roles in their life, not just in work, but everywhere. So let's get into it.
Let's dive into our first question. What's the difference between leader and a boss?
This is my favorite. The short of it is a boss relies on authority to convey something. They need authority to get you to do something, and that's a boss. So for example, someone saying, you're so bossy, and I've heard this before. So yes, I'm going to just go ahead and own it too, because I'd be like, yeah, I'm bossy. I like to boss people around. But in reality, the only time that I will go to boss somebody or say something is if something's not happening. And in reality, that's something I've had to work on, because leaders are able to lead either via example or taking steps before you or with you. But they'll give it a moment. They'll let there be a void and they'll step in to provide a solution that generally considers the group, the whole.
Yeah.
So a boss is going to rely upon authority and use that to try to get you to take action and move. A leader is going to either guide or inspire or show you the way. So it's a little bit different.
Right. Yeah, I got the same idea or same concept of what you think of leader and boss. Yeah, leaders are those individuals who inspire others, motivate them, guide them to be a better version of themselves. They are growth minded.
Right.
They're open with new ideas as long as it's good intention, good
Right.
values,
Right.
and they take responsibility.
Oh yes, that's the big thing.
That's right. And boss, they blame people.
That's right.
They are ego driven. They have fixed mindset. And if things goes wrong, it's never their fault.
Never. It's always somebody else's fault. It's the subordinate's fault. And that's no bueno. No bueno. So let's talk about what is the role of a leader and why is it important to have good ones?
Ooh, good question, Coach Law. I believe that the role of a leader, first of all, I think leader is not in charge. I think leaders are in charge or responsible in their charge. In other words, if things goes well, everything was success, everything went great, they give away the credit. They don't take all the credit for themselves. They give credit to those who contributed, their employees, and they also take the blame. They take responsibility. If the company fails or someone made a mistake, they take responsibility for that. They are someone who stay up late, make sure everything is done well. They are someone who takes stay a little bit more hours for those employees that's not getting some shit. I mean, beep.
It's all right. We're good. Keep going.
Beep that. Some BS, what I'm saying? And they don't allow their employees to be overwhelmed on the pressure, but they also feel that because if you're a leader, you have to take responsibility with everything that you do. And they're always open. They're always been open with the ideas. It may suck that you're taking all this responsibility, but if you want to be an incredible leader, you must suck that up.
Yeah, I think the role of a leader and why it's important to have them is the role of a leader is to galvanize a team. It's the role of a good leader is to galvanize a team, or even if it's just like you're leading one person, your role or responsibility is, in short, kind of to ease the burden for other people, which may sound crazy to some people, but literally that's the role of a leader. Your job is to help make sure stuff happens for whoever trusts you as their leader. So if they're letting you lead or allowing you to lead, they're following whatever it may be, you have a responsibility to deliver whatever it is you're supposed to deliver and take on whatever you're supposed to take on to yield the best possible outcome. And if you're not willing to do that, you're not a leader. And side note, if you think you're a leader or you think you're an equal to somebody else who kind of is the leader or maybe the leader, but you're not doing that stuff, there might be some conflict there. You can choose to not follow a leader if you want, and you can choose to go your own path. Everybody can make that choice. But the role of a leader is to help take on that responsibility, to ease the burden, to help make the manifestation of those around you. To me, like, I won't follow a bad leader, but if I see a good leader, I will follow them immediately with zero hesitation. There are some people I admire as leaders and I follow them in a further capacity, but boy, I wish I was closer because I know that they take care of their people. They look out for anyone that's found, they are serving them. And to me, servant leadership is like the best way to, and probably the only way to actually be a good leader, regardless of leadership style. So the role of a leader, I think, is really to galvanize a team or bring together a unit, but also to ease the burden and help with the manifestation of those they serve.
Right. Yeah. And if we can describe the role of the boss here, as we mentioned
don't do that. They
earlier,
don't care about that.
They don't do that at all, you know? So if you don't have good leaders, we have bosses, then we either get punished or we get fired. You know, those are the two.
Say you're gonna get it if you don't deliver. The boss gonna tear that ass up. Okay. So
next question.
we're gonna have to put explicit on this episode on YouTube. All right, that's
explicit.
Cool. Yeah, they're gonna be like a strong language. Yeah, explicit. All right, cool.
That's it.
How do you define being a good leader, Vaughn?
How do I define a good leader? I think a good leader.
Like, how do you be a good leader?
I think it's all about consistency.
Ooh.
I think being a leader is a skill. It's not something that you do overnight. You know, it's a
practice.
It's a daily practice that you have to embody. Same thing with working out. If you want to be strong or you want to lose weight, when you look at yourself in the mirror, you just worked out. And the next day you look at yourself in the mirror, there might be no change. There are no change, actually. You know, you might, if you're consistent for about a week and then you stop, then there's still no change. What changed is that consistent process. 9 hours in the gym won't get you in shape, but 20 minutes every day, 5 times a week or 7 times a week, that will get you in shape. Same with, brushing your teeth. If you don't brush your teeth, you're going to have a falling tooth or lots of cavities. You're going to have bad breath. Who wants to communicate with a leader who has bad breath?
So they got to have good hygiene.
Exactly. Great hygiene. It's the same thing as I was saying. It has to be consistent.
Yeah.
Like brushing your teeth every morning and at night for 2 minutes, for every single day, then you'll have healthy teeth.
So in order to be a good leaders have to be consistent.
Consistent, yeah. Same with leadership, It doesn't have to be, you have to lead a convention or do a speech every single day. It could be telling a friend that try again, if they fail. That's a trait of a leadership. So it doesn't have to be a big...
It doesn't have to be a big deal. It could be something small, just like, hey, let's go, friend, step it up.
Exactly.
I'm gonna help you back up. That's true. In that moment, you're leading your friend to stand them up, to not give up on themselves, which is good. So I have a question. What about because leaders are people too, right?
Right.
So consistent. But what about when a leader, drops for a moment or has to take a knee or something happens?
I think that's the part where we also need to ask our trust beloved ones or like close friends to ask for help. I believe, just because you're a leader doesn't mean you don't need help. You also need some help.
Matter of fact, I think as a leader, you're required and obligated to ask for help. Even if you think you don't want help, you have to ask for help. I think that's part of being a good leader. I would say being a good leader, again, for me, is defined as, for me, it's like on a hierarchy, biological, whatever kind of thing that I see it. There's a lot of different ways to view leadership, but for me, it's like who is the person that shows up the most for the well-being of the unit or the people around them? That person is by default the leader. Like you can see it when you go in a room, even if like some people have their own other reason for like idolizing or like worshiping that person, whatever it is, there's still the perception that that person does something for them or that person contributes value to the community. That person, there's still that they do something.
Yeah.
And whether you like the person or not, it literally, like I said, it's kind of on some biological, me learning about history, like even primal tribal village type stuff. It's like the people who contribute to the village usually have the most rep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that may be the leader. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes the contributors follow the guidance of the wisdom of the shaman or somebody else, right? And that person might be the leader. But even so, that person is leading the person who's providing the resources or whatever. They're still guiding that for the well-being of the people. So to me, a good leader is required to act and conduct themselves and show up in a way that nobody else will for the benefit of everyone around them.
Yeah, I think that's a powerful message. I think great leaders are the ones who's serving the most. You know, they are there for people that need them. And I think leaders, it's all about influence. You know, you're influencing your people.
I was listening to Jocko talk about that, like about leadership capital. Sometimes we be spending or throwing away our leadership capital. You know, got to be more mindful about how you're spending and using or throwing away or gaining leadership capital plays a big role.
Yeah, you might have this rank, this position, but if you don't know how to lead and help others or serve people, then your position is useless.
Yeah, you're going to lose that leadership capital real fast.
Real quick.
Cool.
Yeah, and
so next question.
Let's keep going.
Okay, go for it.
The one that I remember by Simon Sinek.
Oh wait, what are some good leadership books or podcasts?
Oh, let's talk about that. I have 2 books. I already mentioned by Simon Sinek. It's called Leaders Eat Last and Leadership by John Maxwell.
Yeah, almost anything John C. Maxwell is going to be a good leadership book, straight up.
He's like the godfather.
Yeah, he's like the Tony Robbins of leadership. He's he's one of the OGs for sure. Mm-hmm. I also would say The Dichotomy of Leadership by Jocko and Leif. So they have extreme ownership, but Dichotomy of Leadership came afterwards. So it covers like not only extreme ownership, but the dichotomies and some of the nuance that isn't covered in the first book, which is extreme ownership. So I recommend The Dichotomy of Leadership.
For sure.
And that helps you to better understand the dance. Anyone that's in a leadership position or even in a boss or authority position, whatever it is, you understand there's always a dance. Like this has to happen in order to manifest what we're trying to do. But at the same time, the delivery, how I deliver to win matters, because if I hurt that person's feelings, then they're going to underperform and then we won't get there either. So you got to know how to do the dance and how to navigate the things. And that's what Leadership of Dichotomy is about. Dichotomy of Leadership. Oh my goodness.
I think, I think that word, it's incredible, dichotomy, because the answer is not always this or that, it's not always black and white. It's always going to be, in that middle. You got to find that middle ground, what works best.
Right. And for podcasts, I think good leadership podcasts, Jocko podcast, of course.
About Real AF.
And Andy Frisella. Yo, you better be ready. Take accountability. If you don't like being held accountable, don't listen to his podcast. It's not for you. If profanity bothers you, it's not for you. He's just passionate, man. But he really cares. If you ever meet him, you can feel it. He just radiates it. And also,
I think something similar to that is Tim Grover, but I don't know if he does a lot of podcasts, but he's one of those, if you don't want to hurt your feeling, then don't watch them.
Don't listen to him. Ed Milet. Ed Milet has a lot of great people on there, and he's got some episodes about leadership. And I think, honestly, Ed Milet has one with Tim Grover.
Oh.
Yeah, so Ed Milet definitely has an episode where Tim Grover is on there.
I think
check that out.
yeah, I think the wizard himself, Dr. Jordan Peterson.
Oof. You know what? Exactly. Dr. Jordan, man. All right. So the Jordan Peterson podcast, that one, absolutely. He's definitely the
must.
wizard. Yeah, that's a must. So it may sound like, oh, how is listening to psychology and philosophy and theology relevant to being a good leader? But all of those things are human elements. So really you're learning about humanity. So if you don't understand the value of learning about humanity as a leader, I'm going to tell you straight up, you probably need to go learn about that so you can learn for yourself what the value is. But you're not ready to be a leader yet if you don't understand the value of understanding humanity first. That's I'm gonna just say that one right there.
I think one last one for me, I would say Brandon Burchard. If you want to be a high performance athlete or business, you can check him out.
Yeah, Brandon Burchard, also great. All right, guys. So that's it for Leadership Basics. As a leader, it's your job to serve people, man. That's it. Serve people. Be the first one to step it up. Consider those around you. Include them in the vision. Make sure that you galvanize the team or help build up that person.
And inspire them, guide them. It's just serve.
That's it. So if you guys have any questions, comments, or feedback, let us know. Bonus, anything else?
That's it for us. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. And if you haven't followed us on social media, where are we going to follow us, Coach Law?
At Shift Own Your Life. And other than that, we hope you have a fantastic day.